This is what the 8 to 12 lakh rupee segment looks like. A new launch happens and every customer flocks to it. And after that, it's business as usual. However, one car that has been able to do consistent sales in this segment has been the Tata Nexon. The Nexon is the best selling SUV in the compact SUV segment right now, and it has sold more than even the Brezza in the last few months. Problem is, from where I'm sitting, it's very hard to understand why so many people are buying the Nexon. The interiors are hard, the quality is good, but the fit and finish could have been better. The plastics at some of the places, for example this hazard light button, is very low rent, and the biggest eyesore in this interior has to be the instrument cluster. This isn't bad. The Nissan Magnite is bad. This is something that makes you want to wash your eyes in acid. The worst piece is that these black graphics inside these LCD lights make the entire setup seem pixelated. First the LCD bars and then the pixels inside those bars make you feel as if you're trying to watch a 360p video on Nokia 3310. It's that bad. Then there is the sunroof. This sunroof is much smaller than the average sunroof and feels more like an air vent. I don't mind this, to be honest, but you feel that Tata could have done a lot of things better. However, the Nexon was never known for having a lot of features. So let's start driving. The first thing that you realize as soon as you start driving is where did all the punch go from the BS6 engine? Now, the thing is, if you're driving slowly, calmly, the Nexon's BS6 engine feels very tame. It doesn't have that kick in the pants like the BS4 engine. However, if you start pushing the Nexon, the second you start driving it hard, you'll realize that not only is it as good as the BS4 Nexon, it is even better. The flat spots in the power delivery of the BS4 Nexon has all been done away with. This is a much linear, well-tuned engine, and it has the punch when you need it, especially in the sport mode. One thing that I find really strange in the Nexon is if you're climbing these hills, especially like roads like this, very steep climbs, the car bogs down a lot in the sport mode. You have to wait for the turbo to spool. But what works better is moving into the city mode. In the city mode, the turbo spools much faster, so you can keep the engine on a boil while climbing these guards. The real highlight of the Nexon's package though is not the engine, it's the ride and handling balance that this chassis has. You would have seen those memes that talk about form is temporary, class is permanent. That's so true for the Nexon. All the features that you get in these SUVs, they're all temporary. Mechanical superiority, that's permanent. The car has so much grip, the chassis and the turn-in is sharp. It's hard to believe that this is a compact SUV and not a hatchback. It feels nimble enough. It's not as nimble as, let's say, the Ford EcoSport, but what it has even better than the EcoSport is the poise through corners. The feeling that you get while driving the Nexon is that the Nexon dominates the corners. The rest of the cars, they slice through it, they are nimble, but the Nexon just owns the corners. As you keep driving, you're also reminded that the Nexon is unfazed by broken roads. I always knew that the ride quality of the Nexon was good, but this feeling of the car being built out of a single block of metal, that is something that you're reminded of every single time that you drive the Nexon. And the more you drive it, the more you're reminded of the strong, hefty build quality that even the more expensive cars like the Seltos or the Taygun, even they don't deliver this. This is a thing that some cars in the past could master, and this solidity that you feel, it just elevates the driving experience to a different level. One thing that Tata still hasn't figured out is the gearbox. It still isn't great, and it's something that Tata needs to work upon a little bit. It's not something that, you know, you'll miss shift, but the rest of the experience and the gearbox just don't gel together that well. And I'll tell you the secret ingredient of a great car. It should not only be fun while driving it hard, but it should also make you feel special while driving it in the city, while doing your grocery runs. That's the hallmark of a great car. And the Nexon does feel special, even while driving slowly, even while just pottering around in the city. That's what makes the Nexon feel special. The best car that I've owned till date is my Fiat Linea. I've owned it for 5 years now, and I still haven't found the ideal replacement for it. After driving the Nexon, I wouldn't say that it is the perfect replacement for my Linea, but it comes very close. If you are one of those people who often complain about Ford and Fiat leaving the country and not having really good cars to buy, you should try out the Nexon. It isn't perfect, and that's true for the Fiat and the Fords as well. The quality of how Tata puts things together isn't great. The after sales and service might be an issue, but the soul, the essence of the car, Tata has got that right for sure. The Nexon might not have 7 seats like the Kia Carens or the fancy features that you get in the Sonnet, and it's not also priced like the Nissan Magnite, but what it has is the mechanical purity, a driving experience that is better than all of them. This is the essence of what a good car should be like. The reason the Nexon wins against all of these competitors is because it just doesn't compete with them. It's in a league of its own. That's it from my end in this video. Thanks for watching.